Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you've been well. It has definitely been a while, but that's okay. We're here now, and I've intentionally carved some time out of my day to come hang out with you guys and tell you guys what's been on my mind lately. When I started out in video production, if I had found a video like what I'm about to share today, I know it would have helped me and kept me from falling into a lot of bad habits and sticky situations. And I know these videos are out there because I've seen them since I've made this video. So, but anyways, yeah, that topic is, if I had to start my video production business from scratch, what would be the first 10 things I did? Because there was many lessons that took me years to learn that I probably could have learned in months. Starting out, so when most people get into video production or any type of creative work, I find that we so often focus on the creative side. We obsess over cameras, lenses, color grading, editing techniques, all those things that make us better filmmakers, make us better creators. Don't get me wrong, that stuff matters, but really looking back, the things that had the biggest impact on my business weren't necessarily the creative side. They weren't the creative lessons, they were business lessons. So if I lost everything tomorrow and had to start my video business completely from scratch, these are about 10 things. I think I have 10. These are about 10 things I'd focus on first. So yeah, let's jump in. So yeah, if I could go back and talk to myself, the first thing I would tell myself to do would be to pick a niche and pick a niche sooner. For me, and for a lot of people, I would think one of the biggest mistakes we make is trying to do a little bit of everything. Photography, videography. I know some people trying to do all these and graphic design. That's a bit much, but you know, I was doing weddings, photography, some real estate here and there, corporate videos, mission documentaries, some stuff with restaurants. And I'll be honest with you, I thought being versatile like that was going to help me get more work, but in reality, it not only confused me, but it made it confusing and harder for people to know exactly what I did. I didn't really know what I was good at either because I wasn't doing this one thing. But the moment I became known for something more specific, I found that referrals became much easier. People weren't necessarily thinking of me as a guy that can shoot everything, but nothing really well. I started becoming known as more of someone who specializes in a particular niche within the video industry. So I actually love photography, and photography is actually what got me into video work. With that being said though, getting back to what I'm talking about, this niching thing, I actually did my last photo client this past weekend, and going forward, unless the project makes sense financially or something I really care about bringing to life via photography, I'm actually no longer doing photography for clients. I'm gonna leave photography, I keep saying photography, but I'm gonna leave that as a recreational thing that I have for me. And a lot of that is because, number one, I do enjoy photography, and sometimes when I'm doing it for clients, I kind of get burned out. But on top of that, it was getting confusing to myself and to the people who was talking to me, and trying to figure out what they could hire me for. Like, I really want to be known as a videographer, as a filmmaker. But so often people were calling me for photo work and then hiring somebody else for video when I want to be known as the video guy in my area. So I had to let one go, and that was going to be for photography. By no means am I saying that you need to lock yourself into one niche forever, but I believe that if you're trying to grow, becoming known for something can really accelerate that process dramatically. The second thing I would tell myself, or someone else who's just starting out in video or the creative service, is raise your prices. Raise your prices, and raise your prices earlier. Quite frankly, I say this, and I know goodness well that my prices are probably lower than what they should be. So the thing about pricing is, I learned that it's not just about making more money, it's also about positioning yourself properly in the market, right? Number one, you don't want to hurt the market for other people in your industry, right? So if the market value in your area for weddings is $2,000 for video, probably more than that. But if, say for instance, it's $2,000, if you can offer a similar or better product as the guy up the road that's charging $2,000, and everyone else in the area that's charging $2,000, let's say for weddings, you don't need to come in at $500 right? Because that absolutely kills the market for everybody else, and it gives a false sense of reality, if you will, to the client even. Because next time they do business with somebody, or next time they refer somebody, maybe they go to someone else and they say, well, this guy charged $500 and this guy over here is charging $2,000. Like, you absolutely mess up the market for everybody else when you do that, right? In addition to that, you do yourself a little bit of a disservice, right? I say that because, say for instance, you're doing work for somebody and they hire you, but they hire you purely on the fact that they think you're cheap and they feel like they can just get a cheap product from you that's good enough. Even if your work is great, your work might be spectacular, but you don't want to be known as the guy who's cheap and whose work is good enough for what they need, right? If you want to be an expert in this area, you want to be looked at as someone who is professional in what they do, but professionals charge professional prices. So we got to keep that in mind. I'm not saying go and just blow up the industry rate and go $5,000 or $3,000 above market value. But what I'm saying is you can't bring down the market value, and also you can't undersell yourself either. There are people out there who are looking for you. They want you, they want your personality, they want your service, they want what you provide, they want your creativity, and they want your skill, right? But, and these people are willing to pay good money for that. But if they're looking for someone like yourself who's an expert in your field and they see you charging way below market value, those same people who will actually be good clients are possibly going to overlook you. Not because of the fact that they just want to spend so much extra money, but these people understand value, and they understand that oftentimes value comes with the price of paying a premium price. I said that really weird, but value usually comes with paying a premium price. That sounds crazy, but that's what it is. So you don't want to be known as the guy that's cheap, that will do everything for borderline free. And you don't want to hurt the market value, you don't want to hurt the market for other people, creators in your field. You want to be known as the guy who's an expert and who charges for his expertise. So the third thing that I would tell myself or someone else starting in the creative space, or really any business for that, would be learn sales and learn sales immediately, right? This one I think a lot of creatives and people in general avoid because the word sales can feel a little bit uncomfortable, a little bit taboo. I know there's a lot of sleazy guys out there trying to sell something, snake oil and everything else, and sometimes we don't want to be associated with them, but sales is a good thing. For a long time, I thought if I just became a better filmmaker, the work would flow naturally. I thought that, right? While being good at your craft is absolutely important and it matters, I've also learned that talent alone typically, at least for most people, at least not for me, doesn't always create opportunities, right? I want to be clear, right? I am not a sales guru. But before I go deeper into this, I do want to say though that before getting into video production, before getting into the creative space, I actually spent 4 years in life insurance sales, and I also worked for about 1.5 to 2 years as a banker. Both of those environments were heavily focused on sales and client relationships. And honestly, I was by no means ever the top salesperson. In fact, I wasn't that great at it, just being real. But what those experiences taught me was incredibly valuable. I mean, I learned how to build trust. I learned how to ask questions. I learned how to listen before trying to provide a solution. And most importantly, I learned how to understand what someone actually needs and be able to communicate how I might be able to help them solve that problem with a product or service that I might offer, right? That's really what good sales is understanding their problem and helping them see a path towards solving it. And hopefully solving that problem with a product or service that you offer, right? When I started applying these lessons to my video business, things began to change, right? My discovery calls got a little bit better. My client conversations got a little bit better. They got a little bit more intentional, a little bit more deep. I actually understood what they were, I was actually listening to understand what they were telling me. And I stopped talking so much about cameras and frame rates and technical details. And like I said, started focusing more on their business goals and their challenges and what the outcomes they were looking for were. Because at the end of the day, most clients aren't hiring you because you own a particular camera. No, they're hiring you because they have a problem that they need solved. And the sooner you learn to communicate your value and connect your service to a client's needs, the faster your business will grow and the better your conversations will be, and the more people are going to trust you to deliver what they're looking for. Looking back, learning how to have better conversations with people probably helped my business more than any camera upgrade that I've made to this point. The fourth thing, which coincides with sales and everything we just mentioned, would be building relationships. Almost every meaningful opportunity I've had came through relationships. I haven't got work from ads, as far as my knowledge, as far as I can remember. I haven't gotten work from ads. Cold outreach, yes, but not as effective. The social media algorithms, no. Most of my work has come from relationships, and it's come from word of mouth, and it's come from meeting people. Other creatives, right? Marketing professionals, business owners, agency partners, people who knew my work and trusted me enough to recommend me. The older I get, the more I realize business is really about people, right? When you focus on creating mutually beneficial relationships, mutually beneficial relationships, right? Remember that. Opportunities tend to flow a lot easier, right? And these relationships compound over time. They really do. So the fifth thing that I would tell somebody starting out in the creative space or trying to revamp their business would be understand the scope of work before you begin to price, before you begin to give out quotes and everything, right? I say early on, but I honestly still do this sometimes. In fact, I did it with a project recently. We often get excited about the project and send quotes before fully understanding what is being involved, or what's involved rather, right? That's a huge mistake. We're setting ourselves up for failure, and we're going to deliver the client unrealistic expectations if we don't know exactly what we need to be charging for, right? We need to know things about how many deliverables are there, right? How many shoot days will there be? How many revisions? What's the turnaround time? Will there be travel involved, right? What rights are being granted? That's a big one. The more clearly you understand the project, the more accurately you can price it. So number 6 would be something that goes along with what we just talked about, in fact, and that is protect yourself from scope creep, right? Typically, scope creep isn't malicious. Sometimes it is, right? But usually it's just a result of unclear expectations, right? A client might ask for one more edit, and then another one, and then another one, right? And before you know it, you're doing work that was never included in the original agreement, right? Doing work that you're not getting paid for, right? The solution to this isn't being difficult, it's being clear. This is another one that I've really had to retrain myself on, and just being clear and strong in, right? Define your deliverables. Define how many rounds of revisions there are going to be. Define the timeline. Define what's included and what's not. Trust me, clarity protects both of you and the client. Use contracts and systems sooner. If you're charging money, I think you should be using a contract of some sort, right? I understand that not everyone can afford to hire an attorney or a lawyer or whatever, but having something in writing that, once again, is going to point back and give clarity on deliverables is going to save you a lot of time, money, and frustration, and it's going to save the client from misunderstanding. A contract is just going to make you look more professional too, and that's just the truth, right? I think what often separates successful businesses from a talent freelancer or freelancers is going to be professionalism. So number 8, and this one might hurt, but that's stop chasing gear. And I know that one might hurt because I love gear personally, and it's easy to fall into this gear trap. A lot of people call it gear acquisition syndrome. It's easy to fall in that because I feel like there's always a YouTube channel or an Instagram page trying to tell you to buy the next great thing, supposedly, right? Most cameras made in the last 5 years are going to treat most people really well, especially again if you're in the beginning stage. So yeah, the camera and the tools we use should be just that. They should be tools. We shouldn't be going in debt to buy this stuff. I saw something recently where someone said some of us out here are buying cameras to make money while some of us are making money to buy cameras, right? I want to be the first one. I want to be buying cameras to make money, but not just making money and then just spending it all on the gear, right? Gear definitely, it matters, but it matters less in the beginning than when you actually have a bigger project and then you really need a particular piece of gear. But a lot of it comes down to being able to know how to use that piece of gear, but ultimately you need to be able to tell a good story first. If you can't tell a good story, if you don't understand lighting, if you don't understand composition, then buying an FX3 or a C50 or the new Nikon ZR probably isn't going to help you that much. Not every opportunity is an opportunity worth taking. When we're getting started out, it's so easy to believe that every project is going to be a stepping stone to something bigger, right? That cheap client over there is going to lead me to a bigger, better client, right? That discounted project could lead to ongoing work, right? A free project could lead to exposure, all right? We've all heard that. I'll pay you an exposure. Meanwhile, exposure doesn't pay the bills or put food on the table, right? And sometimes, it does work out. Sometimes you do get that, lead, but honestly, and more often than not, it doesn't work out that way, right? One thing I've learned over the years is that you can't build a sustainable business or raise a family in my situation on possibilities and empty promises, right? The reality is that future opportunities aren't guaranteed, right? They can't be guaranteed. They can't guarantee that their network, no matter how big, will actually reach out to you, right? Exposure isn't guaranteed, right? But what is guaranteed is the time, energy, and commitment that we'll be investing for that project, right? That's why I eventually stopped evaluating projects based on what they might become, and I started evaluating them based on what they actually were in that moment, right? Now again, hear me out. That doesn't mean every project needs to be a huge payday. I've done discounted work. I've helped friends and family, right? I've worked on passion projects that I genuinely believed in, and I've done work like that for free, and I do that quite often actually. But those were intentional decisions, and the difference is that I chose those projects because they aligned with my goals, not because I was hoping someone else's promise would eventually pay off down the road. I'll just go on a tangent for a little bit. The same thing applies to cheap clients, right? I didn't really plan to go here, but it can. One thing I discovered is that low budget clients aren't always a problem because of the budget itself, but typically the problem is that often they expect far more than what they're paying for. This goes back to what I was saying near the beginning, right? The more time you spend chasing low value opportunities, the less time you have available for the clients and projects that can actually help you move your business forward, right? That's actually going to help move the needle, right? One of the biggest shifts in my business happened when I realized that saying no isn't mean, first of all, and also it isn't losing an opportunity. Sometimes saying no is actually creating the space and time needed for a better opportunity. So yeah, if I was starting over today, I would be much more selective about where I invest my time, my energy, my attention, all of that, because not every opportunity is worth taking, right? Learning the difference can save you years of frustration, and honestly, it can keep you from resenting yourself. It can keep you from resenting the project that you're working on. And quite frankly, it can keep you from resenting the client that you're serving. Number 10, and this one is almost hypocritical of me to say, because I'm so bad at creating content and I'm so bad at doing this YouTube thing. But number 10 would be create content consistently, right? I understand the value of creating content, and if I were starting over today, I would start documenting my journey from day one, right? I would share my projects. I would share lessons like I'm doing right now. I would share behind the scene moments. I would share wins and loses because there's going to be a lot of losses. Did I just say loses? I'll share wins and loses. No, I said that wrong. Hold on. I would share wins and losses because there's going to be a lot of both along the way. Content has become one of the most powerful ways to build trust at scale, right? People want to know who they're hiring. People want to see how you think. People want to understand your process. Creating content gives people a chance to connect with you before you even get on a call with them, right? So I would definitely start doing that more consistently, and hopefully I will be more consistent in that as I make this video. Hopefully it's not another 6 months before you see another one, right? So yeah, those are my top 10 things that I would do if I was starting from scratch in the video production or creative business. Looking back on the list is funny because pretty much none of that had to do with cameras, lighting, or anything, right? But everything was about business, about communication, about relationships, and about creating systems that allow your creativity to thrive, right? So yeah, if you're just getting started, I hope this helps you avoid some of the same mistakes that took me a long time to figure out, and I'm still figuring out, right? And if you've been doing this for a while, I'd love to know what lessons you have that you might be able to add to my list. Drop it in the comments. Yeah. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope to catch you in the next one. All right, peace.